Welcome to The Unrealist. On Friday, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein held a press conference where he announced a grand jury indictment of a case presented by the Special Counsel's Office headed by Robert Mueller. The indictment was made against 12 members of the Russian GRU, which is basically the Russian equivalent of the NSA, the National Security Agency here in the United States. Not much new information was presented. Most of what is alleged to have occurred was laid out in March by the Devin Nunes-led House Intelligence Committee. The indictment adds specific names and some higher resolution detail on the activities, but it largely follows the contours of the March 22, 2018 House Intel Committee report on Russian active measures. As the indictment makes clear, no Americans are alleged to have any criminal liability with the Russians, and anyone with a lick of common sense can tell that none is ever going to be forthcoming. The indictment undercuts that possibility from the simple fact of describing the operation's secrecy. The Russian GRU members went to great effort to hide Russian involvement in these activities, going so far as to create false identities such as the Guccifer 2.0 and DC Leaks online personas. They made use of a leased server in Arizona as a proxy, and they used Bitcoin to pay for that server and other services and online infrastructure. They used the Bitcoin that they mined themselves for maximum anonymity, and then laundered it through multiple Bitcoin wallets as if that wasn't enough, just to maintain the secrecy of Russian state involvement. Now, if the indictment is to be believed, they were contacted in their guise as Guccifer 2.0 by what is described in the document as Organization 1, which is widely reported and believed to be WikiLeaks. The indictment contends that in June 2016, Organization 1, or WikiLeaks, solicited information from Guccifer 2.0 claiming that they could make more impact with it. In July, WikiLeaks supposedly kept pestering Guccifer 2.0 for information related to Hillary Clinton, expressing great doubt that Trump could beat Hillary. Therefore, it would be more interesting to stoke conflict between Hillary Clinton and her rival Bernie Sanders. The DNC was about to meet to choose their nominee. Now, it was on July 22nd, 2016, that WikiLeaks released the first 20,000 emails and documents from the DNC, and continued releasing more through October and into very early November, just before the election. Now, from all this, what you have is an indictment for things like conspiracy to violate the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, identity theft, and a little money laundering from their efforts to wash about $95,000 worth of Bitcoin cryptocurrency that they used to maintain their anonymity. In the end, this is a stupid indictment. It does more harm than good. It identifies the methods used to backtrack this operation and reveals the mistakes made that made it possible to track the activity back to the Russian GRU. It's going to make detecting any ongoing and future cyber intrusions, not just by Russia, by just about every other advanced country in the world, a lot harder to detect. Because if I, with my piddling 130 IQ and City University computer science degree, can go to school on that document and see where the Russians went wrong and how to go about it in the future, I'm sure an entire building worth of Russians with at least 140 and 150 range IQs, PhD level computer science, networking, and cybersecurity training is going to go orders of magnitude further with this information. Now, all for the supposed benefit of indicting 12 Russians, who, if those are even their real names, will never set foot in an American courtroom, let alone a prison. It's a vanity indictment. It's also pointless from another standpoint. We already know that the GRU is conducting espionage against the United States government and its political parties. We know this because we assume all countries with even a modicum of sophisticated intelligence agencies, whether they're enemy states like Iran, rivals and competitors like China or India, even allied states like the United Kingdom and Israel. It's not only expected, on a certain level, it's expected and desirable. Newsflash, we do it too. The biggest purpose of agencies, almost the entire purpose of the CIA and NSA, is to conduct espionage against other countries. That's all they do every day. Has anyone forgotten the brouhaha that erupted when it was reported that the NSA was eavesdropping on the private conversations of world leaders like Angela Merkel? Remember that? I realized it was such a long time ago, in those old halcyon days of the Obama administration, but, you know, back in the days of your great-grandparents. Has anyone forgotten that when Merkel dropped the probe into the tapping of her phone back in 2013, the German parliament kept up with their inquiry into NSA spying? And in 2015, this is after Obama promised that, you know, they were going to stop spying on Merkel. In 2015, not even 3 full years ago, they found that the chairman of the inquiry, Christian Democratic Union Member of Parliament Patrick Sensberg's, that his BlackBerry was compromised. It had been opened before it ever got to him and tampered with. Just remember, if you're a government official from a country targeted by the United States, if you order a laptop or a phone from a U.S. or other Five Eyes country like Canada or the UK, it's very likely to be secretly diverted. If you order this online to be delivered, it's going to be diverted to an NSA warehouse where it'll be altered to let them spy on you before it's sent back on its merry way to be delivered to you. If you're an ostensibly friendly nation on the U.S. border, like, say, Mexico, you might have discovered, again, during the old days of the Obama administration, way back in 2013, that the NSA hacked into your Secretariat of Public Security, and all your state information about your country's police, counterterrorism, your prison system, and border police were all hoovered up by the NSA's Office of Tailored Access Operations, TAO. TAO being the Cyber Warfare and Intelligence Gathering Unit of the United States National Security Agency, operating continuously since at least 1998, it's believed, probably before, under another form. Its mission: to identify, monitor, infiltrate, and gather intelligence on computer systems being used by entities foreign to the United States. Got news for you, people. Almost everything that the TAO does is by definition illegal and could be charged in all those other foreign countries with the same kind of charges that Mueller revealed on Friday against those 12 Russians in the GRU. If you don't think the NSA and CIA are even now listening in on, or, you know, at the very least, trying to listen in on Vladimir Putin's phone calls and every other phone inside the Kremlin in Moscow, you're smoking crack. When Trump brings up the perfunctory complaint about these 12 Russians to Putin at Helsinki, what do you think is going to happen? Putin is going to lie, say that Russia doesn't hack or eavesdrop on the United States government, and if he's feeling particularly jocular, and wants to go on with the charade, maybe he even goes so far as to ask Trump if we spy on him and his government. And Trump will respond, no, we don't do that. Two men lying to each other, but knowing they're both lying, to maintain the beautiful lie that each president, prime minister, and chancellor repeats every time they meet. Just like Trump actually knows what Netanyahu said over the phone when he meets him, and how he knows what Theresa May has been saying over the phone when he meets her. How every country in the world with active intelligence agencies knows they're all doing to each other. That's all for this New Unrealist. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, set it to the always option if you actually do want to be notified about new videos, because the default, the sometimes setting, it's bullshit. Thanks for watching.